Now on BBC One with signing and subtitles, See Here.
Hello and welcome to the first magazine programme of 1994, and it's a busy programme we have for you today. Jack will be reporting on Typetalk, the public telephone service for deaf and hard of hearing people. Last year we travelled to Scotland to join in the anniversary celebrations at the Garville Deaf School in Greenock. And if you've ever fancied taking to the boards, we have details of a dance workshop in London. But to start with, Jack and I have an update on the RNID's Louder Than Words campaign, which aims to improve access to information for deaf people. You may remember we launched the campaign in some style a year ago here at the BBC.
Now, this important campaign is to help Britain's 7.5 million deaf and hard of hearing people, and it's aimed to help them to break out of the suffocating cocoon of misunderstanding, and that is caused by lack of information. And in our increasingly complex society, information is absolutely vital, and those people who are deprived of information, and deaf and hard of hearing people are deprived, inevitably suffer discrimination and loss of opportunity. Now the Institute aims to overcome this by raising the awareness of the problems of deaf and hard of hearing people. Well, the campaign has now taken off and it's won widespread support. Over 600 organisations have asked the Royal National Institute for the Deaf how they can make their organisation more accessible, and many large companies such as the Midlands Bank and British Gas and Eastern Electricity have adopted the Louder Than Words Charter. These are the pioneers, and one organisation, the Benefits Agency, which administers benefits on behalf of the Department of Social Security, has gone further. It's not only committed itself to the campaign, but installed text phones in every one of its 159 districts. Clive went to find out more.
Today I'm in Derby at the local benefits office. There are over 500 offices like this up and down the country, giving advice and providing benefits payments to millions of people. This agency has committed itself to giving better customer service to deaf and hard of hearing clients. So I've come to find out just what that means.
Hi.
Hello, would you mind explaining why you're here today?
I need to make a new claim for severe disability allowance.
Right, okay, I'll see you later.
Okay, see you.
Hello, can I help you?
I'm deaf.
I'll give you this ticket.
Yeah.
You take this ticket in there.
That way.
I will meet you in there.
Thank you.
Andrea, can you explain why the Benefits Agency have decided to adopt the Louder Than Words Charter?
Well, the Benefits Agency has a commitment to make all its information and advice accessible to deaf and hard of hearing people. it forms part of our overall policy to give all customers an equal opportunity to access our services independently.
Now, let's say a deaf or hard of hearing person arrives here. What sort of service can they expect?
Well, we hope to be able to identify them at an early stage, either by the customer steward or when that particular person goes through to our initial reception. And at that stage, they would take the appropriate action and identify whether somebody needed somebody to come down and sign for them or the loop aid.
Well, because I'm deaf myself, the staff who work here know that if any deaf people come in needing help with communication, they can ask me to come down and help them. Some deaf people may need help with more information about benefits or money, and we can help them with that information.
Have you ever claimed income support?
Could you speak clearly, please? I am hard of hearing and I can't tell what you're saying.
Have you ever claimed income support before?
No.
No. Yourself?
No, I haven't.
No.
The Benefits Agency has adopted the Charter, Louder Than Words, and has a commitment to implement all the points of that Charter. But how each individual district might accommodate that is entirely up to them, and the timescales will be slightly different.
Ticket number 447. Indicator board. When it comes up to 447, you go up to the counter, it says afterwards.
Yes, right.
At the moment it's up for 13. It may be another counter, or you go to that counter. If you take a seat,
Thank you.
and sit down, I'll see you as soon as possible.
Okay, can I help you?
I'm deaf. Oh, great.
Can I help you?
I need to make a new claim for severe disability allowance.
Have you ever claimed before?
No.
Well, when I see deaf people who come here, they feel very relieved when they meet me. This is because I can sign, so they're relaxed and can talk and sign to me. They feel much better. It's better for deaf people when they get full communication.
Yes. You need to fill that in,
Yeah.
and if you send it in here, we'll sort it out for you. Okay?
Right, thank you.
Hello again.
Oh, hiya.
Did you get the information you wanted?
Yeah, it's great. They can use sign language. They've given me all the information I need. I just need to return it now. It's great.
So what's it like compared to last time you came? Is it different?
Well, the last time I came here, I had to write everything down. My confidence was rock bottom. Now I feel more confident as I can communicate and sign to them.
So if you need more information, you'd be happy to come again, would you?
Yeah, not many deaf people come here at the moment, but they will. And hopefully the staff here and deaf people will work together.
So attitudes are changing?
Yeah, they've changed. I'm much more confident.
Great, thanks very
Thanks.
much. See you again. Well, it's great that the Benefits Agency are taking so seriously the needs of deaf and hard of hearing people. They have the right to a service too. Deaf people are getting clear communication, as he's just explained, and for hard of hearing people they have loops and other ways of communicating, which is great. Let's hope that more companies and organisations continue to adopt the Louder Than Words Charter. But now let's move on. During this series, we're taking an occasional look at educational provision for deaf children. There are very few schools that offer a bilingual approach. Yet a number of educationalists believe bilingualism is the best method of teaching profoundly deaf children. The Garville Deaf School in Greenock uses the bilingual method, and we visited the school on its 25th anniversary.
What colour would you like? Gold or silver or coloured? Which? Gold, right? Gold it is. Today Garville is 25 years old. Mm-hmm.
Garvell School's 25th anniversary. The school has been in this building for the past 25 years. But there hasn't been a school for the deaf here in Greenock since 1878. And that was actually founded by Alexander Graham Bell.
In 1878, Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, now used worldwide. He also agreed to provide a small room at Greenock Academy on Nelson Street. When that school was established, it was named Articulation School. The building no longer stands, but behind me, on the same site, is the James Watt College. So in 1878 the school was set up and remained open for 7 years until it was demolished. It was then relocated next door to this site from 1885 until 1968. The name of that school was Ardgowan. However, at that time the name of this street was Nelson School Street, which led to confusion for many people. So after some deliberation was renamed Garvell School.
Yes, I think it's vital that all deaf children learn sign language right from the beginning, because it means they've got communication with their parents and their family from the word go, and there's no frustration and ease of communication, and it makes for better relationships all round within the family. And I've seen so much frustration when children haven't got communication that I see a big difference in these children that are allowed to sign on that page. Ideally, in a school that advocates bilingualism, the children's first language would be BSL, British Sign Language. And also ideally we would have deaf teachers who are skilled BSL users. So the children learned initially through BSL and then later transferred to English, to written English or spoken English if they could manage it, and have access to English through BSL.
Pointed. I know.
Now what's next?
Yeah.
Good, that's right.
So the children here range from 3 to 11 years of age and have become fluent signers. But when they've finished, where do they go?
Well, the children then go to Greenock High School, where there's an interpreter and a teacher.
Providing a service for young people of all ages with varying degrees of deafness. A peripatetic service supporting people with naturally acquired spoken language in mainstream schools. For another significant group, the the naturally acquired language. This is the use of the currency.
Well, in the same way as children from minority communities, deaf children have the right to learn their own language. The language they can learn naturally, which is BSL. It's a real language with its own grammar, structure and rules. Once they have that language, then later on they can use that as a basis to build their knowledge of English, to translate from British Sign Language to English.
Right, give me your book then.
Well, it was lovely to see that archive material at the school. Well, Typetalk, the public telephone service for deaf and hard of hearing people, was launched nearly 3 years ago, and since then it's dramatically improved the lives of thousands. And for the first time, deaf people can communicate by telephone with anyone, anywhere they choose, at any time. And for them, it's as if the telephone had just been invented. Personally, I found it invaluable, and I use it every day, and I contact my colleagues on See Here through Typetalk. It's funded by British Telecom and run by the RNID, and it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Brian Bell is the Service Director of Typetalk, and Ross Trotter is the Chair of the Consumer Panel. Brian, could you explain how it works? How does a totally deaf person hold a telephone conversation with a hearing person?
Well, anybody who's either totally deaf, deaf-blind, or indeed speech-impaired can't use an ordinary phone. So what they use instead is a thing called a text phone, whereby they can type what they want to say over the telephone line. The problem is they can only type to somebody else who has a similar machine. So what Typetalk does is it enables the deaf person to call an operator at our unit in Liverpool and type to the operator. The operator then speaks everything that the deaf person types to a hearing person anywhere in the world and types back the reply as it's spoken. So it's just as though an ordinary conversation is flowing back and to anywhere, anytime.
Well, I know it is increasingly popular, but how many people use the service, and what are the projected numbers looking to the future?
Well, looking backwards, we've grown at a tremendous rate. When we first opened in July 1991, we had 200 customers. We were handling less than 200 calls a day. In December, we had 10,600 customers, and we're handling over 2,000 calls a day. In fact, we handled 82,000 calls altogether in December, including 1,000 calls on Christmas Day. So we've been growing very fast. We expect to continue to grow to about 12,000 customers by March this year and about 15,000 customers by March the following year. So growth will continue very quickly.
Does this mean that the demand is outstripping supply, and that this will test your capacity to meet the demand, or are you planning further extensions now?
Absolutely no problem with meeting the demand. The present unit, in fact, will be at capacity sometime this year, but we've already started work on our second unit, which is only about 10 minutes away from our first unit, and that will be about 3 times the size of the present unit. So that will actually give us the possibility of handling about 500,000 calls a month, a tremendous capacity in time, so no problem with growth. It will also, of course, mean that then we'll have 2 units, 2 separate locations, and that will enable us to do what we really want to do, and that is launch a full public emergency service for text users, something long overdue and which we are keen to do this year.
Thank you very much indeed. It sounds marvellous. Ross, you are the chairman of the consumer panel. What does it do and how does it work?
The consumer panel is there to provide feedback to Brian on use of the service and also to try out any new ideas. We are chosen to represent different types of user. We have a BSL, phone deaf panel member, a deafened panel member, a deaf-blind member, and also a hearing panel member. And we also represent users of different types of telephones that use the service to give as wide a range of feedback as possible.
Well, Typetalk is a remarkable innovation. Do you find that the response is overwhelmingly favourable, or do you only get the criticisms as chairman of a consumer panel?
I know from my contacts that most of the people who use Typetalk have found it's made a tremendous difference for the better in their lives. But I think people write to me if they are having problems with the service and do not like to write to Typetalk direct. I can then pass these problems on, and Typetalk can then help to solve them for them.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So, if you're deaf and you would like to register to use Typetalk, the text phone, the number to ring is 0800 500 888, and you can also register if you're hearing. The number for that and lots more information about Typetalk is in the January issue of the See Here magazine, and it also tells you in detail how Typetalk works, the cost of the calls and how to reclaim your rebate. Now, the magazine isn't available in the shops, only on subscription from RNID, and their address is 105 Gower Street, London, in WC1E 6AH, and it costs £11 for 12 issues.
Thank you very much, Jack. Do you remember the opera workshop we featured recently? Well, a number of you contacted us wanting to take part. So when we heard about a dance workshop, we couldn't resist finding out more. The workshops started last autumn in London's famous Sadler's Wells Theatre and are run by the disability arts organisation SHAPE. Well, that workshop is a deaf dance workshop, and it's for young deaf people. We're trying to recognise deaf culture in it by using tutors who can sign and understand deaf culture, of course, sign language interpreters, and by using music which is visual and loud so that people can actually feel it.
When I received the information from Shape in London about the deaf dance, I thought I'd love to do that. I thought to myself, why don't I join with this deaf group? Sounds fantastic.
So the music there is really very loud and people can feel the vibrations, and deaf people can appreciate it that way. I mean, deaf people make their own choice.
After the 10-week course had finished, I felt really disappointed. It was so brilliant, and I just wanted more. I wanted it to carry on.
The aim is for deaf people to learn basic dance skills and at the same time use their own visual cultural experience, put that in to create deaf dance. It's quite something. And we're also aiming for increasing leisure opportunities for deaf people, not just pubs and so on, clubs and so on. They can now get involved in dance. They can also learn a new skill and become a deaf dance tutor or get involved in a deaf dance company. Fabulous. If you want to join a workshop, a new course has just started on Thursday evenings, and there are still a few places left. It's best to get directly in touch with Shape, and they'll send you all the details. Their address is coming up in just a moment. Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Do join us next week for our tribute to Dorothy Miles on the first anniversary of her death. We look back at her life and forward to the future of deaf theatre. Bye-bye for now.